Today is November 13th, 2017, Monday, and my new case manager from the Veterans Program, the housing program, came to see me. I had called earlier because my tire was flat on my car, and I put air in it with my air compressor and tried to see if there was a leak, and yes, there was. I looked at it very closely, and it's very possible that somebody could have poked it through the cracks. There are cracks on that tire. I called the police, and a police officer came out. He said that it was the cracks, and then he called for another officer to come out, the sergeant of the day, and he said that it was the cracks. But I did say that, somebody could have poked through those cracks. Nevertheless, somebody had peed in the trash container, and so I put a bleach water mixture in there, and then I'll just let that air out. About 2 weeks ago, somebody had broke the trash container, and then the police said, call the trash company, Republic, and then they'll just replace it. But nevertheless, somebody is still harassing me. So because I had a kind of an argument with the first police officer when I talked about what had been happening to me, and that I wasn't given due process. He brought up due process, and I said, but I haven't been given due process. And so after they left, I thought, well, let me see if I have any videos of what the neighbor is doing. There was a list of things that had been happening, and he'd been, harassing me, turning off the water heater, shutting off the electricity, and the PG&E technician was here, and he went after the technician, and the technician called the police. I called the police, and so I looked at my videos, and I found a video of him throwing the green rope on my porch. So I called the police that had come out here earlier, the first one, and we had a decent conversation, and he said that I could get a restraining order, but that is scary because I'm not getting the support from the legal system, the judicial system here. So back to my case manager coming out here, because I called him after that all happened, because it's just continuing harassment. It's physically aggressive, it's scary, it's creates a fear. There's no peaceful environment. It's not a healthy environment. I'm not the one creating it. So I called my case manager, and he said that he would come out, and in the meantime I wrote a list of what had been going on, that I do plan on speaking to the council members. So he starts to tell me again that I need to go to the VA to get medical and mental health care services, and I said they haven't even provided services for me from 2013 to 2016. My PCP wouldn't even monitor my osteoporosis that whole time. Then she tells me that I'm pre-diabetic, and I'm not. I looked at the medical records, and I'm not. I also paid for my own test, and it shows that I'm fine. Then I reminded him about how the mental health services had all that time during the core program to protect me, yet they still kept calling me, saying that I have psychosis, even though when I got the records from Napa State Hospital and the Wright Institute, and the test results say that I have anxiety disorder and PTSD, and they never, and he never wants to address the issues. So he kept saying that in order for me to move from here, because my main purpose for calling him was that it's not safe here and that I would like to move. And so they're saying in order for me to move, I have to go through their plan and follow their plan, that I would need to go to mental health services and medical services and evaluate me for what I have today. And I said, what do you think they call it service-connected disability for? Because it's connected to something. Your mental state is connected to something that has happened, and so now you're the state that you're in. He just doesn't want to accept that. And so my issues, the evidence are never being taken seriously. And I told him that it's just another trap. They're making it so that now all of a sudden, if I want to move for safety reasons, that I have to go through their program and then graduate from it. That I have to have case management, and that I have to graduate from that case management in order to move from this location. And I told him that that is not true, that all of a sudden now it has changed, and that it's another trap. Because I had got that portability voucher on my own earlier this year, and as another veteran had told me, that all you have to do is contact the location where you want to go to, and then you get the voucher, and then you move there. And my previous case manager and the supervisor had told me as well. And now all of a sudden there's this stipulation. It's just another trap. So I told him that I was going to file an official complaint. It is nonsense. It is, he doesn't even want to acknowledge that it's called psychological injury. I'm not the one that's throwing breaking the windows. I'm not the one banging on the walls. I'm not the one causing all this destruction. But what it is causing on me is fear. And it's natural. It's natural to feel that fear, but you can still articulate that it's happening. So for me to want to go to the VA with him and get evaluation, and he keeps saying that it's psychosis, and I had to defend myself again and I told him the medical records that I had extensive testing up at Napa State Hospital, and the records state that I do not have psychosis. So they're trying to make it look like I have psychosis and delusional disorder so that they can never protect me, so that they can never address the atrocities and the abuses committed by the government, the judicial system, the VA healthcare system, and what happened at the veterinary practice. So it was as simple as this. I said to him, if someone punched you in the face, whose fault is it? Now, if I start blaming him that someone punched him in the face, what would that tell you about me? That I'm the one that's the problem. So if you are defrauded by vet practice, okay, you're injured by a medical professional, that's not the patient's fault. That's not the client's fault. But they never want to address it. So I'm still going to prepare to speak to the council members. I am not doing well. It was such a unfair and a way of speaking to me that showed me that he didn't really want to protect my rights, that it caused my stress level to raise, and just my physical well-being just deteriorated even more from earlier this morning, and my eye really starts bothering me. My weak eye really starts bothering me. So I'm here with Winnie right now, and he could sense too that I'm not doing well, and I decided to make some vegan bacon, and it's so disturbing because he keeps repeating himself. So when I talked with him earlier, he said, "Are you eating? Are you getting enough to eat?" And I said, "Yes, I am." Then he comes here to talk to me, and he says, "Are you eating?" Now, how is that going to help me? It's disgusting. It is just so disturbing. Women do not have any more rights than they did at the turn of the century. And I'm going to have to keep speaking out. There is one thing: when the sergeant of the day of the Martinez police, he came out earlier, and he remembered me, and he acknowledged that I wanted to speak to the council members, and he did acknowledge that. So I am going to prepare for that. All right, please, somebody help me. I need people out there who are against judicial abuses, against government abuses, against abuses on women, on seniors, on animals, on pets, on veterans. It is absolutely vile. You can contact the UN. This is still going on. It is them wanting to provoke me and taunt me so that it appears that I'm psychotic and delusional. And I posted that when somebody has psychological injury, they can still articulate. I am still articulating. All right, please help me. Please contact the UN. Please contact Amnesty International. You can complain to the VA. They have there's more than just the Office of the Inspector General for the VA. So I'm going to keep fighting.